Hello and welcome to another episode of So Fly.
I wish I had the reggae horn thing.
Shoop, shoop, shoop. I have a beep. I have that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's not just any episode because it's our 200th episode.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, 200th episode of So Fly. Chug, chug, chug. No. Everybody, thank you for listening, tuning in. My name is Mitch and this is Aldo.
Hey, everybody.
And we're very excited to be recording another episode today, the 200th episode of this podcast.
Can you believe it?
I certainly can't. Can you?
Seriously, can you believe it?
It's almost been 11. It's almost been 10 years, rather. It'll be 10 years in January 2026. Ay. Where's the time gone?
Ay.
I've got a different backdrop here today. I'm down in a bar, and I'm going to make a cocktail to celebrate the 200th episode. But while I'm shaking up a drink, although before we get into the festivities of today, the 200th episode fun times, why don't you kind of what's going on in the community? A little news.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on in the community. It's our 200th fucking episode.
Yeah.
It's going right off the rails. What are you making, Mitch?
I've poured a whiskey sour, and I did this before we came on when we were chatting, and now I'm shaking it. Just a nice little whiskey sour to kick things off. Maybe I'll have a daiquiri after this, because there's, as you can see, quite a bit of booze behind me. So there's no shortage of...
pretty amazing.
There's no shortage, yeah.
Well, Drift Outfitters just launched their fall educational series, and I was going to start with that, but there sure is a lot that's already sold out. But anyway, for fly tying classes, they had Theo is giving a classic twist on steelhead flies, but that's sold out. That was October 22nd. There's a beginner break-even fly tying lessons that you can always sign up for, which is pretty awesome. Oh my God, just like literally everything is sold out. Good for them. Shit. There goes that plan. But
great.
Always keep an eye out to Drift Outfitters, because their casting lessons and their fly tying lessons are very popular, and clearly. But the first dates were just announced. But anyway, October 15th, Chris Jack is doing his top 2025 flies. Like I said, the classic twist on steelhead flies is sold out. October 25th and November 1st is the break-even beginner fly tying lessons. Those are not sold out. So October 25th, November 1st, beginner fly tying lessons. That's pretty awesome. And they're trying to teach you flies that won't break the bank and will catch fish, which is pretty awesome. November 22nd, imitating local bait fish with our pal Nick, the salmographer himself.
They're going to say Nick Kennedy from Civil Liberties. Check this coaster out.
That would have been amazing. So yeah, there's
Salmographer.
I would go to Ontario Streams. They're doing 2 garbage cleanup days.
Yep.
Oh, your cocktail's done. 2 garbage cleanup days over the fall. So go to OntarioStreams.ca and click the Get Involved link, and you can find out when those days are. If I'm available and Mitch is available, we'll be there cleaning up garbage as well, depending on where they're meeting.
Yeah.
How do we go? And then OttawaFlyFishers.ca. Oh, they've got their October thing all set up. October 4th, they're doing a fly tying demo at Sail in Ottawa. October 5th, they've got the Stillwater competition, which we mentioned in the last episode, at the Bing Retreat.
Yep.
October 7th, beginner fly tying and drop-in at Champlain Fieldhouse. October 7th, Zoom fly tying for steelhead. October 17th to 19th, Bing Retreat trip.
This is craziness.
There are no more spaces for this entire weekend, but you could contact Bing and go for the day while the trip is going on. So,
there you go.
Meaning, clearly the overnight spots have been booked, but if you want to join on one of the days of the 17th, 18th, 19th, it looks like you can join the Ottawa Fly Fishers.
You just go fishing. Yeah.
Exactly, with the crew, but you can't stay over.
Oh, Sorry.
Sold out. October 21st, fly tying and drop in at Champlain Fieldhouse. Man, Ottawa Fly Fishers, dude. They knew you were coming back home, and they were like, we better step our fucking game up.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go. So, yeah, lots of stuff going on, down south, as they say, and here in Southern Ontario. And then, of course, check out your local clubs like the Hamilton area Fly Fishers and Tires, and the Forest City Fly crew in London, and of course all the Trout Unlimited chapters like On the Grand and Isaac Walton and all that good stuff, because I'm sure there's more going on than just that. But that's what we've got going on. And Mitch, let's let's see this cocktail.
Moving forward, maybe what we'll do is you'll take the Southern Ontario news, I'll take the Ottawa news.
Oh, I love it.
And then we've got like a lot of the province covered. I mean, from a numbers point of view, a population density point of view. Of course, the North's very big. Okay, well, why don't we? I have an idea. Get into the main part of the show after these words, but let's take a sip and cheers. We'll take a sip and we'll cheers.
Like right now?
Yep, for 200 episodes, and keep sipping while we go into the break. Here we go. Cheers, 200 episodes.
Cheers, Mitch. What do you got there? Whiskey sour? Oh.
Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, there is no break. It's a whiskey sour.
And I've got a Tread Lightly from Muskoka Brewery.
It's pretty good whiskey sour, but I made it with with bourbon. That's still whiskey sour, right?
Still a whiskey.
Yeah. So I made it with Buffalo Trace, some lemon juice, freshly squeezed, right at the lemon.
You're a bootlegger, Mitch.
Mm-hmm. And then I made
a little bourbon in Ontario right now.
A little bit of simple syrup. Right, They don't have it? Well, don't come over to my house. I've got tons. Got some buffalo there.
You're a bootlegger.
I'm a bootlegger. Try to stop me. Okay. We got a fun show here. 200 episodes all though. Can you believe it?
I can't. Can you? You started this thing.
Well, you joined on what? Episode 17?
Just fucking answer the question. And yes, it was episode 17.
We're at 200, brother. So, I would say, no, I can't believe it. It's amazing. I was listening to some shows earlier, like some clips from shows earlier. And it's crazy how much stuff we've done, It's really wild. I mean, me and you met on this podcast. That's how we met.
I know. That's wild.
It's crazy. I went back and listened to your podcast a little bit. I was like, God, it's so funny to listen to
me.
Different stages. Like I listened to a little bit of episode 1 when we first started the podcast, because it's weird to hear our voices and we do sound younger. And then episode 17, when you came on, it's like funny because it's like, we don't really know each other yet. And then look at all the shit we've done since then.
Look how you pronounce your name.
It's craziness. So you've done a lot of stuff. I think today what we do is we talk some highlights. We talk about a recent trip outing that we took. So that's a fun story. And then have some fun segments to round this thing out. And of course, we're having some drinks. But I think, just me and you celebrating this. Why not? It's kind of nice to do another podcast episode with two of us. I know the last one was with just us. It was a bit more of a functional pod, the last one. So this one's going to be a little bit more of a fun, how she do. But you might even find a couple of tips, trips, and tricks for your arsenal.
I'll tell you what you will find, though. We're giving away a pair of effing sunglasses. It's the 200 episode giveaway. These are from Costa, obviously. Mm-hmm. This is from the Untangled collection. It is the Antilles in Midnight Blue.
Packs a punch cocktail.
It's a strong cocktail, eh, Mitch?
Ooh, baby.
His face just went woo. And in the gray gradient lens, which is a good all-arounder lens, even for like driving and hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
I know I've got a little SoFly video YouTubes in the background if you're watching on the tube. These are cool. What makes them untangled? They're recycled plastic.
That's right. They're made from recycled fishing nets, and I just tried them on right now, and they are light on my the frames are very light.
They're so cool.
Sick.
Blue.
It's a great all-arounder lens. It's a great all-arounder fishing and not fishing glass. If you want to win, just do what we normally do, which is comment on what your favorite SoFly episode was on our YouTube channel, and we will draw from the comments and
on this episode.
On this episode,
go to our episode and comment your favorite SoFly podcast episode. And we will randomly draw on the next show and you will win these glasses.
You will win these glasses that I'm holding in my hand right now.
Can I win the glasses?
No, you can't.
I can't go and say and win?
No, sorry, Mitch. Not for you.
All right, well, go and do that. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, well, first of all, please go rate us on Spotify. Leave us a rating. Only 5 stars. We don't want anything less than that. If you're going to go and leave a 4 or 3 star, just don't. I don't got any more patience for this shit. But... that would be very nice if you could leave us a review, some stars, because it helps us get noticed more on the thing and more people that listen means it's the wind beneath our wings. We can make more of these things. But if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or an audio platform, head over to our SoFly Fishing YouTube page, find this most recent episode 200, and comment your favorite SoFly episode. You might win those Costas that are $17,000 value.
And that's because I touched them.
I think they're 300. I think they're like around $300 a pair of those bad boys. They're nice shades.
Yeah, they're nice shades, and they're made from 100% recycled material, so that's really, really, really cool. Okay, but as a segue, because we're talking about our favorite episodes, was this called the episodes that stuck with us?
I think we did this maybe 50 episodes ago at 150, but I don't know. It's kind of fun to do it again. Like I said, I was going through the list today, and we've done so many freaking episodes. And here's the thing: Bob's Boygas, fantastic cartoon show. If you watch Bob's Burgers, they just did their 300th episode, so congratulations to them. And one of the people that works on the show was like, "I'd rather do quality than quantity. I hope we did 300 great episodes." And I feel that sentiment as well. I know that we've had a couple episodes in here, probably us when we were a little bit tired on various trips that were maybe not as good. But I think that all the episodes for me have a certain quality because like I said, they followed the last 10 years. So it's kind of interesting. They're like almost like a journal of our fishing lives over a decade. So anyways, all to say, I hope those 200 episodes have been fun for y'all to listen to, but some of ours, what about you? Do you want to start with some of your faves and why? Because it's kind of fun to chat about.
No, I like this list, like chronologically. Like,
I mean, there's a lot in here.
There's a lot in here. You've got a couple that I wasn't a part of, so maybe you start.
I mean, I would say going right back to episode 3 with Drift Outfitters is a notable fun one to listen to because Drift's also been around for 10 years. And we started around the same time. So when he was just opened, we went and did a podcast in the shop. That's like when we first met Rob. Yeah. That's when we first met Rob, and it was Gab and Yilma and me and Rob. And it was fun because I was new to Toronto. Rob had just opened the store. SoFly had just started. So it was the beginning of everything. So it was pretty cool to get to chat about that stuff and like meet Rob and talk about Drift on one of our first episodes. And then after that with Joe, my Uncle Joe, was fun because we got to talk about fishing in a more recorded format, which was cool, you know.
We mentioned Nick Roman at the top of the show because he's going to be giving a class at Drift, but he says he goes back and still listens to those Joe episodes because of Joe's knowledge of Southern Ontario rivers.
Yeah, and that was it too. Like, it was special because I just moved there, and so it was fun to get to pick his brain about Credit rivers and some of the other rivers down there that are cool and fishy, and learn why. So that was a great episode to do. And then I'd say a very notable one is episode 10 because that was our first Temagami episode. Temagami obviously turned into quite the...
Is it fair to say Temagami started the love affair with Northern Ontario?
Of course, 100%. That was our first trip north in any capacity. And we had met Eric Fenkel for the first time, who became quite a friend of SoFly. I mean, we've been hanging out with him ever since. We've done many trips there. You lived there for a while. Winter, spring, fall, summer.
Yeah, helped him open
been a
the
wild
outfitter.
Journey. Yeah, so that was a fun one. And we had Bobcaygeon, I think, beer up there at the time. They were sponsoring us, and we took up some pallets, and it was funny. It was like we stayed at Eric's cottage on the island and just kind of farted around and caught like some bass and stuff. It was fun, but it was funny doing that show. I would say those three are notably intriguing for me. Then we get into the first Elk Lake trip.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we knew that we had the Attawapiskat trip coming up. Like, I had already, like, when we first met on that episode 17, you already had that booked.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, we've got this big thing happening, and then I was like, wow, cool. That sounds crazy. And, and then, the Elk Lake trip, yeah, it was definitely like that was our first. Well, not the first. Well, it was the first trip of us four. Going back to, it was Gab, me, Yilma, and you.
Yeah, and it was our first trip norther than Temagami. It's a couple hours more north of Temagami.
Yeah, and it was our first time, like, in a way, learning how to produce a trip like that. Like, finding sponsors and finding a travel partner and filming together, working together, and even just fishing and hanging out together. And man, it was so fucking fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We had a blast. Remember that podcast was so great. We recorded at like 2:00 in the morning
Yeah.
after drinking too many beers and fishing all weekend. It
Yeah.
was a funny show. I would say episode 2022 was a make or break show for I think a lot of fans. Some people probably were like, "No, it's just these guys are too silly goosey for me." And then other people were like,
it started
"I'm a
some
silly goose
SoFly
too."
lore though.
Totally.
Like the Wendy's thing, that became a thing for a bit. Like
Mhm.
people commenting on our Wendy's decisions. They're like, "Oh, I love the spicy chicken.
Yeah.
I don't like this." That was some
What's the big deal,
early
you know? Like-
SoFly lore, you know.
Yeah, we're not trying to just talk about fishing. We're trying to talk about everything that encapsulates fishing, and that for a bit happened to be the spicy chick. So yeah, and then we went to Attawapskat.
I mean, honestly, and we still go, even though Elk Lake is now owned by,
Yeah, it's not Roger and
Different-
Mary anymore. Yeah.
no, it's Mallory and Jason, and we still go there to this day. Like Ada brings his family there.
Yeah.
Rob from Drift had his staff party there.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool, So yeah, that's definitely a monumental one. And of
Yeah.
course, Attawapskat. I mean, come on.
Oh my god! I mean, we've talked that one about that one like crazy. That was our first big trip north, and I think that was a trip we'll never forget. I got huge fish, float plane rides, the whole shebang.
Yeah, that was the first plane trip ride we.
I mean,
met.
after that though, dude, like it's just been a whirlwind of great shows. I mean, I think my some of my faves. Can I just spitball through some of these?
Yeah, go crazy, dude.
James Bond bamboo rods, amazing. He's a Southern
Yep.
Ontario bamboo rod builder. That was one of my faves. Having Les Stroud on the show, Survivor Man. I
was not there for that one.
loved doing that because he was
He's a hero of yours.
He's a hero of mine. I loved watching Survivor Man as a kid, and so it was a huge thing. Mark Kingwell was awesome. Colin McEwen was awesome. Monty Burke was awesome. Rick Kustich was a really good show. You know, he's obviously an amazing muskie and steelhead angler. It was really cool to get to talk to him. Baba Zoom.
Yeah, that was pretty cool having Baba Zumi on.
Crazy. It also feels like that was just yesterday, but it kind of wasn't. 138 that was. And then Deck Hogan, Brian Niska, Jim Baird. I mean, those guys all stand out. I mean, every show's awesome for different reasons for me. I love it all. It's fun to do.
Well, I think around the 25 mark in the Attawapskat mark, it was when we started, when you first started doing this, there wasn't really schedule. Then we started going, let's release one a month. And then very quickly it was like, okay, we're going to do 2 a month. And that's when we were like, on the 1st and 15th of every month, we're going to make sure that we're, so I think like 25 episodes in, that's when we really started get organized, which I think that's cool. There's something to be said about that too, it's just like making sure that we always have episodes. And
we actually were going to start with 2
consistent.
right off the bat. We're like, let's do 2 a month. And then we just didn't stick to the schedule. And then I think, episode 10 we were like, let's actually be better at this. And then, 25 was when we really hit our stride.
Yeah,
Tomogamy number 2. It's when we were
I think the other thing too is like at that
Lady
20-ish mark, we were recording them. Well, at the Attawapskat mark, actually, is when we started recording them at the CBC building, and we had James Bond come and do the, CBC. We're doing these things. Obviously, the world post-COVID is a lot different.
Yeah.
Remote technology is a lot better for recording and makes things certainly very easy. But it was really cool recording at the CBC building.
Canadian Broadcast Corporation building.
Like that was kind of really, really awesome, And
one time I left one of the rooms and was walking down like one of the hallways in the main building.
Yeah.
And Rick Mercer was in one of the edit suites.
That's
I looked in, I was like, what the Rick Mercer's obviously like Canadian comedy icon.
Broadcasting icon.
Yeah. And so it was really cool to be in the building with him doing our thing and he was doing his. And I was like, oh, damn. Absolutely smashing.
Yeah. So I think that was really, really, that was an interesting pocket of episodes because we learned a lot about, recording with each other. And, we had like Fred Campbell and all those guys on. And it was cool because, we had like Ian Troop on and stuff. And they were all coming to the studio and they were like, whoa.
Ian Troop.
And even I felt, I loved going to that studio to record.
Dude, it was sick. Ian Troop's a nice little plug there because we're having him on the next episode of the
That's right.
Of the podcast. So 201, stay tuned for that. What now? Moving on from guests, trip-wise, because obviously what's been really cool about this podcast is getting to go fishing on fishing trips around the world, and exchanging work to do those things and not having to fund them. which is pretty cool. Obviously was a huge, thing we were trying to do with this whole thing, this whole podcast, and we did it. Congratulations. What's been one of your favorite trips ever? If you had to pick. One that's kind of changed you, if at all. Maybe there isn't one. Maybe you're still
I
waiting.
think we can all say that the Ottawa-Wapiskat trip
really
solidified our love for this province, so it's hard not to mention that, but we've talked about that a lot.
What about
I like that I'm just looking at our notes here, and I like that you've highlighted Indiana as kind of a moment there. One, because Joel joined us, and so we kind of became
Joel Clifton.
closer friends with Joel, who would of course eventually, because of that trip, introduced us to Idas.
Yeah, Idas, of course. Very big part of SoFly.
Big part of SoFly, and
literally,
I think Indiana's really cool. I think with the whole project in Indiana wasn't really about it was about fishing, but it was about
a story,
conservation and community, and it was just a really cool story. And I think we learned a little bit about crafting those stories maybe a little bit better, and kind of what community meant, and kind of bringing some of those ideas back here to Ontario too, in terms of like building community and throwing parties.
It's such a cool story too. I mean, like Indiana was wild because of what they did. It gives you hope, because the stories are still like, that story's still very much present now. It's happening all the time. Like, look at the way things are going in the world. People aren't really protecting wildlife very well. I mean, lots of people are, but lots of people aren't. Governments aren't really doing as much as governments are doing very little to help the causes. We need them to do more. Indiana was a perfect example of that, because the river was obliterated by, corporation, literally. Some company dumped neurotoxins into the river, wiped it out, and the community said, we got to fix this thing, make it better.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. Very cool story.
Which is a really cool story. So
yeah, it was a fun trip. Do you remember? It was
it was like a lot of work on a very little sleep.
Dude,
but it was really, really cool.
I had a work call down in Midtown Toronto, and like in person. This is before COVID, when things were like online at all. So it was in an office. Cork Expeditions, actually, the Antarctic cruise ship that Nikki Trudeau works for. Nikki's obviously a friend of SoFly. Shout out to Nikki. Cork Expeditions, very cool company. It takes people on these like expeditions to Antarctica, literally. Anyways, I was doing some work with them when I was at an old agency. And it was like, I literally had a call till 5. Then Aldo pulled up with Holly. Remember Holly, our friend Holly? She was on Ottawa. Sketch out to Holly, great shooter. You guys picked me up in your Jeep and we drove to Indiana. It took like, I don't even know how long was that drive. Yeah, it was like insane. We got there at like 4 a.m.
And then 2
to
hours
some river
later.
shack, like a river cabin. And Jason, we hadn't met. We were texting him saying, what do we do? He's like, oh, there's keys there. And my uncle is in an RV out front, but don't bug him because it's 4 a.m. Just go inside and sleep. So we just like go in and sleep. And like 2 hours later, Jason's like, get up, we're going fishing. We're like, oh my God.
I'm like, oh
my God. That was insane.
And that's how we got introduced to Costa.
That's right.
That was the first Costa thing. So that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, because of the
Fly Shop.
The Fly Shop.
Fly Masters.
Fly Masters, Indianapolis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fly Masters.
Yeah. So that was a big, I think that was a big change.
That was fun.
Still one of our most viewed YouTube videos.
I was happy with that video. I thought that was pretty good.
Big time.
I thought we did a pretty good job.
Oh hell yeah, that was amazing. You weren't on the trip, but Andros was like awesome.
Nuts.
Once we started exploring saltwater, like, I say it on the podcast a bunch of times. If you listen to this show, I say it all the time. Growing up, working in that Orvis store, looking at the Orvis catalog, and just looking at images of flats boats and endless flats and bonefish. I was like, wow, if I ever get to do this once in my life, that's going to be the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. And now to do it like 3 times every year, which is crazy.
Got a lot, brother.
But that kind of like started it all, and like, it was a cool trip because we had, Matt from Texas, who of course we had this amazing saltwater journey on too. You put Rockport down here. I think Rockport was it's a big pivotal moment in SoFly's history. And then from that it grew into going to the Bahamas with Matt, and all the salty adventures
Salt's
after that.
so cool, dude. It's so cool. And you really went salt, you went on all those salt trips. Andros was Andros the first
I
one?
mean, after Texas, yeah, pretty much. Like I farted around in Florida on my own, but like that doesn't really count.
Yeah. I mean,
I would say-
Andros is like a destination fly
Yeah.
trip. Like that's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm,
You guys had a blast, right? You caught tons of fish.
tons of bonefish.
Yeah.
And then we went back the very next
You met
year.
Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. Man, that was wild, dude. True. I mean, you can watch that video on YouTube because it's pretty cool, Andros. It's a really wild place.
It is, yeah. And I think those are trips that they definitely changed they recalibrated your brain. And then that same year, randomly we got to go to Bahamas again. You get COVID on the trip.
Oh my god. Oh my god, brother.
Oh, what a scene.
What a scene on Long Island. And we're calling the island. I think I might have COVID. They're like, you don't have COVID. We have zero right now. I'm like, okay.
You're patient zero in
Yeah.
Long Island.
Oh, well,
And
they
then
just
you
didn't want any tourism there to get blown up. But it was wild. That was a fun trip, though, and up until that
point.
and then I kind of just chilled. Beautiful place, man. I love the Bahamas. My God.
And then you've highlighted Esnagami, which of course was also amazing. I think
Twice we went there.
Yeah, I think Eric and his family taking a chance on hosting us.
Yeah.
I think we got some really great stuff that first time around. And of course, we made friends with Eric. And then Eric's so influential with the tourism boards here in Ontario that, so much came out of that trip. Like for SoFly, dude,
we met Algoma.
We took over the fishing edition of Ontario Outdoors that year.
Yeah,
we had the cover image. Yeah. We had the centerfold.
And thanks to Ray Blades.
I was
Ray
like,
Blades for that
it's like we were on Playboy.
Thanks to Ray Blades for that too.
Thanks Ray Blades.
It was also a great show. I mean, it's just crazy, right? Like
I mean, I think Esnagami, unlocked a lot of doors in terms of that's how we got introduced to the team at Algoma.
Yeah.
And they've been amazing partners ever since. We've gone on an Algoma trip every year since then.
And we got to meet Eric Lund, who's a bit of a legend. And he's like one of my fave peeps, in the SoFly verse that we've gotten to meet. He's such a cool dude, and his lodge was incredible, and he had us twice for these wicked trips.
And now he sold it, and we
got to go fish with him soon.
And he retired, and congrats to him.
So cool. I would say, I don't know if I had to pick one trip that we haven't talked about a lot, change it because Attawapiscat's it for me for sure. It's probably this one we just had. This trip we just did.
What?
Yep, a couple days ago. Aldo and I had an amazing. That's like, can you imagine this segue? Because what we're about to talk about is a trip from not hell, but just a flop. If you were to say
the end was from
the end started
from hell.
Yeah, but it was a bit of a flop, a fish flop, if you will. Is it my favorite trip ever? I'm just thinking about it from trying to make it did we learn something special? Did we? No, it was pretty fucked up. Why don't we talk about this little trip we took? I mean, it was just a little quick rip up into
I think to set it up, I think people and it's something I've asked people, like when we had Colin on the show, Colin McCune, of course, recipes, or Bob.
One of my fave guests, one of my fave shows ever, Colin McCune.
Bob Azumi. We asked them oh man, did you ever have trips or shoots go completely sideways? And they're like, oh, all the time.
All the time,
whether it be weather or, fish related or something.
Or just bullshit that gets in the way. Flat tire this and a car problem that,
So people have started to ask this to us, and this is a great example of, things that just completely go sideways.
So we took a recent trip. It's fall now. Still pretty warm out, but we wanted to go and explore someplace and, a couple hours from us outside the city that we've heard has trout, and there probably is trout. But it's just like an interesting piece of water, and we wanted to go explore it. We thought that we were like, maybe we'll go, go fishing upstate because we thought that'd be kind of fun to do for this episode, as Aldo and I both grew up fishing upstate. But so let's go explore. Let's have a fun little explore mission.
Explore Ontario.
Yeah, and it's like, well, what could go wrong? What worst case scenario, we're not going to catch any fish. fine. But we'll find some water. We'll have some fun. We'll splash around in a river. We'll laugh. We'll be fun little
100%.
buddies. What could go wrong? We don't catch
And then
any
we're
fish.
like, and we'll talk
whatever.
about it on episode 200.
Yeah, we'll record the episode at a hotel, and we'll sit in that hotel room and record an episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it'll be great, So I don't know. How do we start into this?
Well, work week's done. It's Friday. We've decided to
Hit the road.
Into the Kawarthas.
Yeah.
And we're going to be staying in Bobcaygeon and doing some exploring. I'd say like in an hour's radius of but Bobcaygeon was going to be our little base.
Yeah,
I guess you could say, because
and then we go whatever,
because we've stayed at the motel there before. There's awesome little restaurants, and like Bobcaygeon's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous little town.
Mm-hmm.
You have the lock system there, and it has like fun little restaurants and bars, and because we also wanted to have a bit of fun, and we took the rafts, like our NRS and stuff, and we were gonna try and float some rivers if we could, and yeah.
I mean, we get up there Friday night. We have some drinks. I'm just thinking back about this. Just happened, and I'm like, oh, fuck. We stay in the motel, one night.
Yeah, we watch
a
Dan
weird Aykroyd shows, eat some weird pizza. Love it.
Yep, love it.
Get up the next day, and we go exploring. We hit the trails. Now, maybe the thing to talk about here is in terms of exploration, how we went about it. I mean, we were using some apps to find, like just interesting structure.
Yeah,
on
we're
the
like
river.
Fish Ontario. We're using Fish Ontario, Google, Reddit, and we're like trying to triangulate from there and like access points and stuff, because not a lot of public access. That was the problem number one.
Yeah.
So after driving around a bit and
we found one interesting spot where we're like, oh, this is a fishy place. Let's stop here, fish it for a little bit, and then we'll put the rafts together and we'll go see about, and put in place. And we found another spot that we could put in upriver, which would make for a decent little quick float, not anything crazy, nothing too short.
Totally. So we're now at what would be the takeout, and we're like, we're going to set up the rafts, do a little float, and then the next day we'll do a big one.
Yeah, so we're setting up because then we have the whole day. Yeah, so
it's like the whole day. So we'll do a small section of the river today. The rafts are together. Everything will be fine. The rods, everything's perfect. Fuculated and put together.
Yeah,
so
rods
put together
the thing. River
putting
quiver.
the Watermaster together, inflating it, and then all of a sudden I'm just hearing there's a hole in the Watermaster.
First things first.
There's problem number one. So I'm like, okay, not a huge deal. I've got a patch kit.
Yeah. So as all those patching it, putting the glue on, an old timer pulls up and he says, you guys are floating this thing? We're like, yeah, we're thinking about it. He's like, you're going to waste your time. There's a huge log jam up in the middle of the river. No way you're getting by. We're like, yeah, okay. Okay, buddy. We can get by a log jam. He's like, come on, I'll show you. It's like a 10-minute walk into the woods. First of all, I'm not about to follow someone into the woods 10 minutes, but he seemed like a nice fellow. He was trying to help us out. I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. We'll go check it out after. He's like, okay, you're wasting your time, whatever. So we, we go and put the rafts together, and then we decide to walk upriver. And what do we find?
Well, we found a massive impassable log jam of like hundreds,
an acre of trees that have just been accumulating over years.
And we're like, okay,
and some garbage in it too, like floating down the river.
It's like, oh, it kind of looks like the river winds around here. Maybe we can get around it. Let's put the drone up and see how big this log jam is. Turns out it's like
log jam of the century, brother.
Yeah, there was just no way.
Like you couldn't even walk over. I mean, you could, but it would be death-defying and completely pointless. I mean,
it was like, okay, so.
Okay. So there's the first part of the trip. Here's our plan falling apart. But not to fret. We could go up and float some more, but it's starting to get darker.
Yeah, so then we're like, okay, well, let's go look at some of the other access points. So we drive to an access point. It's like private road. You can't drive here. And we're like, okay. And then we're like, okay, let's go to this other one. We're like, okay. Then we like drive. And then it's like, that day was a lot of driving. We get to another spot and it's like, literally the sign on the guy's fence was like, your GPS is wrong. Turn around. And we were like, oh fuck. God. I was like, okay.
U-turn. Peel out. Find a different road. The road wasn't a road.
So we keep this keeps kind of happening for a while, and then it's getting to be about 5:00 p.m. and we're like, okay, well, why don't we just go back to Bobcaygeon? Let's go hit the maps again, and maybe there's like just a lake in the area we can like fish. Try to find some because trout. It's September 30th right now that we're recording this. Trout season is now closing in Southern Ontario, so we were trying to find some trout for the last time this year. Resident trout.
Yeah.
So
a unique place, a different place than what we're used to in Southern Ontario.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, well, there's got to be something because that maybe we can access with the small rafts that maybe some other people can't.
Yeah.
And we're like, so let's go back. We'll have some dinner. We'll look at the maps. Today was a write-off, but at least we got the Watermaster patched.
Mm-hmm.
We did some scouting, and it didn't work out, but it's all good. We got one more day. Maybe we'll get some fishing in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What happened next?
Well, we're at dinner. We
had nice burgers. That was good.
I had great burgers. Blue Jays won, which is great. And we kind of pulling together this. We're on our phones maniacally looking at maps, sending each other links across the table between burger bites. And we actually find a pretty decent looking small. Because remember, we're in small rafts, so we didn't want to go to some huge place.
Small, little, round, little, simple-looking, structure-wise from satellite lake that's been stocked to the nines with rainbow trout, which looks like it has road access because there's a road that kind of passes it, but it's off a beaten road, so it's like good enough, but it goes to cottages, so we're like, that's probably a good road. So we're like, that probably would work, and it's only like just up the road from where we could fish, fail-safe, where we were today. So the plan was really shaping together. It was like, this could be really cool.
Like, okay, this is like feeling like a pretty decent plan B. The boats are fixed.
Yeah.
We know what we can do tomorrow, We also had some stuff to shoot for brands. So we're like, okay, we got to bang the stuff out. And we're like, okay, great. So then we're like, wow, this sounds like a really good plan. And then we finish our burgers. And Mitch is like, well, I don't know. It's pretty early. It was like 7:00. He's like, should we go get some margaritas?
Yeah.
So we get some margaritas or whatever, and we have a good time. And then we're, it's about 9:00, and we head back to the hotel. And then what happened, Mitch?
There's bed bugs on the bed. We walk in, we look at the bed, and we each see a bed bug on our beds. It's the most traumatic, disgusting thing.
On Mitch's bed and my bed.
We're like, oh my God. So we spend the next hour.
I will say about 10 minutes, about 10 years ago, I had bed bugs in Toronto, and it upended my life. And I've been paranoid about them ever since because
of course
Toronto is a bit of a bed bug city. Mm-hmm. Most big cities, not most.
Yeah, they are. It's crazy.
Like New York, Toronto, Montreal. If you're not careful, you could get them.
Okay, I mean, we're kind of asking for it. We're at some, random motel in Bobcaygeon. I mean, it's like, but
are we asking for it? We've slept in a lot of weird motels, man.
We have, but maybe we shouldn't be anymore. That freaked me the hell out, and it was awful.
Hey, I wanted to go camping this whole time.
Well, that's what's going to happen from now on. We're sleeping in our friggin' cars, brother, because geez Louise, Papa Cheese, that's like the worst thing you could possibly see. We're like, okay, get the hell out of there. We find another hotel very close by. That's better. We go. There's a laundry room next to our room. So Aldo and I are at like midnight, 1 a.m.
This is such a
First of all, me and you are calling up hotels at 11, 12 at night.
Which is weird enough.
Do you have a room for me and my buddy right now? And then they go to the then we check in, and then they go to the CCTV cameras, and they just see me and you in towels in the laundry room washing all of our clothes. Like, what crime did these guys just commit? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God, like what scene,
good, a laundry room right beside our room,
next to our room, which is so crazy when you think about the odds of that. So we were able to heat treat all of like our clothes, which we didn't really have much in the room and stuff like that. And we were pretty safe in that sense, but like we're like obviously go insane, like heat treat everything. And honestly, I even threw out a couple t-shirts, just like go insane. And then
you threw out your t-shirts?
Yes, I'm going crazy sicko mode. I have no desire to even toy with the idea of bed bugs. But we heat treated
stuff. You threw out
stuff.
your t-shirts.
Yeah.
When you got back to Ottawa?
No, up there. Mm-hmm.
I would have burned them.
I was very sneaky. I would have burned them if I could. but we couldn't start fires because that would have led to another problem, which would have been us catching a fire. And that would not have been a good way to end the trip at all, death. But it was close. Terrible. And then, yeah, basically we showered like crazy. Remember we were in the room with flashlights, like looking at each other, standing
Yeah, we were
down.
checking each other's bodies. It
Yeah, we're
was
like,
it
okay,
was
let's just
very
see if there's any
intimate.
bites. We're just like, let's see if we have any bites. No bites. We're all clear. There's nothing crazy going on. No bites, no bugs, nothing. But good Lord, what a scene that was, brother. And then we're like, the next day, and we're like, all right, let's just go to the shopper's parking lot and take all the stuff apart, like the rafts, the fishing gear, organize stuff, like even spray Lysol on things and clean stuff, like just anything that possibly.
You emptied the clip on your car, dude.
I emptied a clip on my car. I went insane. I went absolute insane mode. And
I mean, we both did. Like, don't get me wrong.
we did.
Those
but
cars were Lysol clean.
I'm another level of crazy with this stuff, man. And oh yeah, I emptied the clip. I love that. And then we got some nice pancakes. And then we went home, which was good. And then we got home, and yesterday I got my car detailed. A mobile cleaner came to my house and ripped it apart. So it was great. So I think
that was the fishing fail.
What a fail that was. We didn't catch any fish. We didn't even fish, really. And we had a run-in with some scary bugs. But so what not to do? I don't know. Sometimes you just get unlucky, I guess. Like you say,
that's all. Good.
Yeah,
we've had a pretty good streak of pretty good trips.
It was a beautiful place, and I'm actually would be very curious of seeing what that lake that we were looking at has to offer, because that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we got to try and go back there for sure, because
we should go try to that lake. Like, it's like, why not? But I'll be sleeping in my car. I'll be sleeping in my car. Yeah, next season, or like whatever.
Anyway. So yeah, that was pretty funny. That was our last weekend.
Yeah. So what an outing. Okay, why don't we get back to 200 year stuff? 200 episode stuff.
200 years, so fly.
200 years of so fly. Quickly, do you remember one that got away over the last 10 years? Like a story of fish? I was thinking about this
story
today.
Or a fish?
A fish. Oh, a fish that got away. Like a story of a fish that got away.
Oh, easy. First permit ever. Ascension Bay Lodge.
Yeah.
Me and Kayla Lockhart sharing a...
Who, of course, we met through SoFly.
Of course. Actually, that was a pretty pivotal episode, too.
Absolutely.
As well.
Kayla's is great.
We called her on the phone.
Yeah.
And we did it over the phone. That was hilarious. But, we've been friends ever since, which was amazing.
We were doing that. Before COVID, that's what happened. We would call people on their telephone. Like, it was 1910.
Call you on my telephone.
Brother. What is this, 1842?
That's
Ascension Bay Lodge.
That's been a great friendship for me and Kayla.
Dude, Kayla's a bee's knees.
Yeah, and you've shot with her on a non-SoFly projects. That's awesome. So anyway, Kayla, first time meeting Kayla in person.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm on the boat with her. She's we're in this place where she caught this crazy permit. Tells the story on our first episode together.
Yeah.
She hooks a permit. It rakes her over the coral. It's like we're on a huge school, a very big permit, busts off. The guide's like, Aldo, is your rod ready? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, you get on the deck, start casting. He's like, the school's still here. And I was like, what? And like, it was just like, I blacked out.
Yeah.
And then, put the cast in front of the school somehow.
Mm.
2 strips, fish hits, and it's just like peel in line. And I was like, I just casted to my first permit ever, permit 8. And he's like, that's like a 25, 30 pound fish. And I was like, what? And I'm like, and just watching this thing peel line. An amazing
permit. Yeah.
Just watching this thing peel line. And I'm just like, holy fuck. And I was like, I can't believe. I think it's because it happened so fast. I didn't blow the shot. I didn't have any time to think about the shot, watching this fish tail or anything. It was just like, go now, cast this, there. Okay, strip, hit, set. And I'm like, oh my God, this thing's actually on.
You're kind of black out for a sec, eh?
Yeah, and then halfway through
because you're like,
the fight,
I can't believe this is actually happening.
All of a sudden, the guy goes, he's gone. He got you on there's like a shipwreck we were on or something.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what do you mean? Because it still felt like a tension.
Heavy, yeah. It was just your line.
He already saw like the line do something in the water and it's like, so that is definitely, out of all the ones that have gone away, and there have been many.
Here's one right here of a bonefish that got eat.
YouTube,
YouTube
Mitch,
here. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you've said this before. It's like when you don't even get to see it,
Oh God.
it's even more heartbreaking in a weird way.
You just
Yes,
made me
it's
change
very
my
hard.
story.
Yes, it's very heartbreaking to you see the fish, the net's there, and it's like, oh, it's the last second, and then the fish fucking breaks off or does something and it goes away, you blow the net, drop
Yeah.
something, and you're like, God, why?
Mm.
But to never see the fish
Mm-mm.
is also just like, oh, I wish I
Torturous.
could have just seen this thing.
Torturous.
But it was like 100 feet away from me. Like I was
Mm.
reeling backing for a while before I got my fly line back, So I just wish that was, and that started the string of like never landing permit until this year with you on the beach.
It was awesome.
That was like I lost that permit. I lost 5 other ones, and then or 4 other ones, and then the 6th one with you is the one that was landed. Which
I
is kinda
tailed
cool.
your first permit after
That's
many.
right.
Mm-hmm. There you go,
Which
brother.
is so cool.
It was so cool.
And you spotted it too. Which is really cool. So I think out of all the fish that have gone away, and like I said, there have been many.
Cruising the beach in a club car, smoking dirty cigarettes.
Yeah. I think that was the one I wish I would have landed because holy fuck, it would have been so cool.
Mm.
And it's kind of a fun story because the exact same thing happened to Kayla like 18 milliseconds before it happened to me.
Right.
So it was kind of really interesting. Like, had it gone another way, and within the first hour, both Kayla and I on the first had landed like a 25-pound permit, and then gone back to the lodge and just like been like, we'd have been like, all right, everybody, kiss our toes because we are the champions of the world.
Dude, that would have been insane. Comeback going to the lodge. That would have been insane. Mine's salty too. Yeah, mine was salty. It was salty. It was the tarpon with Benny.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, know what I mean? I was like hooked onto this beautiful tarpon, and I was like, oh my God. And you can see in our Miami video on YouTube, and the thing's running on me, and I'm like, wow. And I'm like I'm like, I can't believe there's a tarpon on my line. And then it just breaks. I'm like, shit. That was a bummer. But then what I just realized actually was the lake trout just recently at Blue Fox Camp, because I was reeling in a beefer laker, and I've never caught lake trout before in my life in general, never mind on flies. And that day I caught my first lake trout, and it was on a fly. And then the second fish I hooked into was a big lake trout, like a very nice fish, because the thing had like my 8-weight corked and it was running down. I'm like, oh, this is definitely a big lake trout, because after we saw the bubbles blah 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 up, and it was just Lake Trout City in that area where we were trolling, and it was a big fish, and I lost it because I was an idiot. I think it's because I was touching the reel, which is like, why was I doing that? But either way, I lost the fish, and I didn't get to see it. So that's what bugged me out the most, because I'm like, well, I don't know.
Because now you don't know.
I don't know for sure.
You're not.
If I saw a glimpse of it, I'd be like, okay, there's the fish. At least I have some closure. But yeah, no, probably the tarpon. The tarpon's pretty impossible to be like, damn, I wish I landed that thing. Would have been sick.
Yeah.
2023, I think that was 22, something like that. My vagina. Well, anyways. Okay, this next part of the show, I thought it'd be fun, and we've got 10, 15 minutes left of the show. I thought it'd be kind of fun to draft pick fishing trip. You get the best fishing trip of your life. You get to pick where you're going, and with 3 of our guests you've had on the show.
Oh.
But the catcher with this is, who would you bring in? It have to kind of all work together. Like, they can't be people that wouldn't really get along or like come from different places. It'd be kind of weird and boring. You could pick 3 people from the show. This is a tough question. I know who I would pick.
Pick the place and the people who you would bring. And it's assumed that you and I are both going on this trip?
Yeah, of course, brother. I'm not going anywhere without you.
No, but I mean, like, it's
me and you go, and then I'll bring 3 people.
3.
I'll bring 3, and then and then we'll go on a different trip, and you bring 3. So my trip,
got it.
Trip number 1 would be, and I'll let you think about this, because there's so many answers to this, but I was thinking what would be really friggin' fun is we go to Alaska. We take Les Stroud, we take Jim Baird, and we take friggin' who'd the third be? Let me think. I had it. Now I'm forgetting. I would say Les Stroud, Jim Baird, and like friggin' I'm trying to think of the third. First of all, those 2 guys would be awesome because they're both like hardcore Ontario outdoor wilderness dudes. And I think it'd be so fun to go on some wicked remote trip with those guys in like Alaska. And they're just like keeping us alive. Me and Aldo are just like getting carried away by mosquitoes, and they're plucking us out of the air, and they're like feeding us like a
I'm just
mother
in
bear.
Jim's backpack. I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks, Jim.
Yeah, and Les is carrying me around in his arms, and we're just going around doing that. I think it'd be Les Stroud, Jim Baird, and I think we would bring we'd go to Alaska, and I think the third angler we would bring would be, I'm kind of thinking somebody like a Deck Hogan, who's very fishy and can sort of just be like very, very, they're all kind of hardcore, Deck's he's an ex, like military guy. And we got these two like wilderness survival dudes. And then me and you were in Alaska. Deck's got the fishing knowledge, these
Les is
guys
just
are
trying to
keeping us
find
alive.
Bigfoot.
Les is trying to find Bigfoot. Jim's keeping us alive. And me, we're just like, wee. I think that would be a pretty fun trip.
Would be
And I've wanted to go to
hilarious.
Alaska for a long time. I mean, that's next on the list. But who would you bring if you could pick 3 people
Um,
off the top of your melon? I've had so many
I
guests.
think I would probably keep it kind of pretty Canadian
I know. That's what I was just thinking.
in a way,
It's like I have another-
just because it's like kind of interesting, and this is of course a fairy tale because
Yeah.
so I would definitely. I am upset we never fished with Colin McEwen, so I would take Colin McEwen,
Yep.
Bob Azumi,
Dude, that's exactly what I was thinking as number
like,
2.
Colin McEwen,
Mhm.
Bob Azumi, and like Mark Kingwell.
Oh, Mark Kingwell. That's who it was going to be. It was going to be
'Cause,
Kingwell,
like,
Baird,
U of T.
Stroud.
You've got a U of T professor, philosophy professor.
Totally.
You've got Colin McEwen, who's of course,
Still master of life.
and then you've got
Azumi.
Bob Azumi.
It's the bee's knees.
And we go. I'd just go tarpon fishing. I think it would be so.
Oh,
much fun.
tarpon fishing with those guys.
Yeah, I'd go tarpon fishing with those guys in wherever, like Belize.
That would be a crazy trip, dude.
Because out of all the episodes I've seen with the new
That'd be a
fly
crazy
fisher,
trip.
I don't think they've ever gone. They've gone to Belize once,
Yeah.
but they really don't tarpon fish. And I just think it would be hilarious. And a 3.5 sort of like would be to go fly fishing, take those 3 guys and go fly fishing with Rick Ruoff.
Oh, I'd love to
Go
fishing with
tarpon
Rick
fish,
Ruoff.
and he's
We
our
gotta
host. Like Rick Ruoff is
We got to make that
is our
happen.
host because oh my god, that
Rick
guy's
is a-
so much fucking fun.
Oh, we're
And I
going to
just
talk
feel
about
like-
him on the gas show because he was the best. But
Yeah.
he was like, you guys got to come down to the Keys. We're like, yeah.
Yeah, of course. If people don't know, Rick Ruoff is one of the more legendary
Amazing.
tarpon guides.
God, he's the nicest
Um,
guy ever. I love Rick Ruoff.
Who really helped
Mhm.
pioneer the sport in the 70s.
That'd
Got
be a cool
into
trip.
fly fishing after Steve Huff, but still monumental in growing the sport.
It'd be a very cool trip.
And exploring the Everglades. But imagine exploring the Everglades with Rick Ruoff's the guide.
And you got Bob Azumi
Bob
in your boat.
Azumi, Colin McEwen,
Kingwell and Kewen are in
and-
the other boat.
and Kingwell in the other boat.
That'd be
That'd be
insane.
so fun.
That was who it was. I was going to say was Jim Baird, Les Stroud, me and you in Alaska, and Kingwell because he can write the book about it after.
Yeah, yeah.
or like Monty
at least
Burke.
an article.
Yeah, and write some crazy story.
You
about
know what?
some ridiculous
but Monty
trip.
Burke and Kingwell.
Monty Burke and Kingwell.
Monty
Mm.
Burke, Kingwell, and
We haven't had him on the show yet. Peter
what's the
Kaminsky. Or
other-
we had Mark Kurlansky. Oh, I mean Steve Raymond. We had Joe Jackson.
Yeah,
So many
Steve
authors
Raymond
over
would
there.
be amazing. Just bring a bunch of writers on a trip would be so fun.
It's kind of a hard question because
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with
it'll be fun.
Bob Azumi. Like, how could you not want to go fishing with Bob Azumi? He's like the nicest
Love
guy
it.
ever.
Okay, let's round out the show with one more segment. And this is a Would You Rather segment. Just a couple of little Would You
Okay.
Rather fun questions to close up 200 episodes here. Me and you spitballing. Okay, Would You Rather. The first, and I got these as a combination of just kind of Googling things. Like I was asking AI. I was like, what do you think a good one is? Here's the first one. Would you rather hook into a 50-inch muskie and lose it at the net or never hook it at all?
I think I'd
Interesting
rather never
question.
hook it at all.
Yeah, why?
Well, sorry, does he break off? Because then I don't want just a fish swimming around with the hook the size of my face.
It comes off like the hook's on your line still. It's just swim. You don't land.
Oh, then I'd definitely want to lose it at the net.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a fishing story.
Yeah, but you
You'll-
lost it at the net. It's a
Yeah,
50
but I'll have
incher.
that story forever.
I know, but wouldn't it kind of grind your bosoms not knowing that you didn't land that 50-incher and it got
Yeah,
off
but
right
I
at
mean,
the
I'm
end?
not the one netting it.
You are though. That's part of the story.
Yeah, I still think because then I see the fish.
Yeah. Okay. So you would
I'd rather
say
I'd rather that than
never hook it at all.
lose it without seeing it. I think that's starting to be a thing in our late stage
now. Okay. How
so
about
fly
this?
career.
How about this? Would you rather hook a 50-inch muskie and not see it, but it's big? You know it's big. You know when you've got a big fish. You don't see it and you lose it, or never hook it at all.
Other thing, I would rather never hook it at all.
That's brave. That's brave. I would rather, in every scenario, hook the fish because then I know I'm in the zone.
How
I'm in
your
the
fly
money.
worked?
Yes, and I'm in the
Yeah.
pocket and go back out. But I thought it was an interesting question because it's like, yeah, sometimes I had those feelings. I mean, with that lake trout, I had that feeling. I'm like, it's almost be. I think I said I'm like, I'd almost be happier if I just didn't, because now I'm like perturbed and I can't just go back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's a tough one. Would you rather fish dries or nymphs for a dry trout season?
Oh, dries. Come on.
Yeah, me too. That's kind of a stupid question. But some people might say nymphs. Maybe some people just want a year on nymph. Or you'll definitely catch more fish throughout the season if you're just nymphing. But I guess that's the question. Would you rather catch a ton of fish in the trout season or catch fish in a certain way if you had to pick?
Dries.
Yeah, me too. Would you rather fish your favorite fly rod and reel, but only one fly pattern for the rest of your life? Or you have unlimited flies, but the most terrible, heavy, clunky, dumbest, shittiest fly rod and reel. Like it's bad, barely works. But you've got
unlimited flies. I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's say you can do one pattern but different sizes.
No.
You can just fish woolly buggers, brother, all the way from 32 size woolly bugger all the way up to 16 aught.
Nah, I'm going unlimited flies. I'm a fly guy. You've seen my fly boxes.
But
There's
this rod is
and
bad.
Thousands.
It's not even a rod, actually. It's a sword.
Well, it's a good thing I'm the fucking best fly angler on earth.
Yeah. I would pick the flies too. I'm with you.
After all that,
of course, I'm not gonna. Wait, you're not gonna pick the fly. You got to pick the flies. I'll just fly fish with my hands. We've heard stories of Lefty Craig casting 100 feet with his hands. You'd become a legend because you'd learn how to fish with just your hand. You don't need. Who needs a rod?
you'd become a legend.
Who needs a rod? If you got the flies, you're fly fishing. As far as I'm concerned. No, I'm just joking. Okay, would you rather have the best fishing day ever, but forget all your snacks or beer at home? I thought I deleted this one. Or an average fishing day with the perfect shore lunch. Okay, would you rather have the best fishing day of your life, but have no food, or have an average fishing day with a really good lunch? Well, I mean, we talked about this all the time. It depends what kind of fishing you're doing, right? Because when it comes to steelheading, no, we would rather have an amazing steelhead day, but we've started to integrate food because it's steelhead and you don't always catch fish. But you're also kind of a snack fiend, aren't you? I see you over there ordering Uber Eats right now.
I think I'd rather have the best fishing day ever.
Of course.
Like
Now
that's gonna trump any kind of hunger.
Of course it will. That's the last question we've got here from the list. Would you rather a year where you catch a fish on every single cast, but they're all the size of a hot dog, specifically, or to catch one fish, but it's legendary in a year?
I would like to catch one legendary fish.
You'll go a whole year without catching a single thing.
Yep. If I land a 200-pound tarpon, then fuck it.
Oh, no, it'll be a 600-pound tarpon.
Then even better. I can ride it into the sunset.
Well, you could. I think I would agree with you. I mean, we kind of do that anyways right now, But lots of people wouldn't agree with that. I think lots of people would want to catch lots of fish, wouldn't they? Okay. Group chat's popping off, eh?
Yeah. But that's what would you want to do? Hot dog man? You want to be a hot dog boy?
I would want to catch the fish if they were actual hot dogs versus the legendary fish. That would be very cool. If I could go fishing and come back every day with 50 hot dogs, I mean, hey, something kind of nice about that. No, definitely legendary fish. I would hope a couple legendary fish. That's it for the Would You Rathers. That's it for SoFly. I think that's another episode.
That's it. That's the end of SoFly.
And we're calling it a day. We'll be wrapping up the podcast now forever. And thanks for listening all these years.
No, that's not true.
Um,
Here's to 200 more.
Yeah, 200 episodes. Wow. Thank you for listening, everybody. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much,
It's been
everybody.
such a fun journey. And I think we've done so many fun things. We met so many cool people.
Thanks to all the guests that have
Our
come
life simply
on,
would not be what it is
all the people that have hosted us
without SoFly.
for trips. No, our lives are way better because of SoFly. Are you fucking kidding me? My life is so much better.
Same. It's been an amazing experience. And shout out to co-hosts from years past, Yilma and Gab.
Of course. And thanks to all and everybody who've helped out. Obviously, Idis has been on this,
Idis and Joel and Mitch Beaumile and Misha and everybody in the world. Andy and
Andy
say it now
Vandeke.
with me. Andy Vandeke and everybody else.
Thanks
and
to
Holly.
our current sponsors
my
like
God,
Chums,
yeah.
Redington, and Muskoka, and Costa, and Trout Routes.
Yep.
Don't forget, comment on our YouTube.
With your favorite episode of SoFly from years. Tell us why in the comments on the YouTube channel right below here if you're watching on YouTube, and you could win those pair of shades that are sitting on all his desk right behind him. That's it from me, Mitch. Aldo.
Actually, there was one more thing I forgot.
Please.
Last episode, at the top of the episode, we mentioned a contest about Ducks Unlimited
Yeah.
Canada. There's a small correction.
Okay.
Originally, we were told you have until today to enter, which is, you buy some raffle tickets. They're raffling off all these prizes, with the grand prize being a 4-day trip to Plumber's Lodge, which was also an amazing SoFly episode. Alex Anther. You actually have until October 12th.
Okay, great. It's extended. Go get some more entries in there, and maybe you could win.
And all the money from all the ticket sales goes to Ducks Unlimited Canada. Ducks Unlimited Canada, of course, helps restore and conserve
Everything.
wetland habitat. So, you're helping out. So
Everything.
even if you lose, you win.
Of course. There's no losing in this scenario. You're giving money to a good cause. Head on over there.
Yeah, but yeah,
Ducks
thanks.
Unlimited.
Everybody comes to Sotos. Thanks
We'll
to
see you again in
everything.
the spring.
Yeah, definitely. You know what, Mitch? Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, and thanks
brother.
for having me on the show.
No, like you invited me to be a host on the show, and it's me and you still standing. Gab's dead.
Yilma's dead. They died long ago.
They died somewhere around 100 episodes. But not us, man.
No, we're going to keep going. Let's see. Maybe we'll get to, who knows what we'll get to? Maybe we'll get to 201. I'm hoping we will, because that's in a couple weeks. And everybody at home, thank you so much for listening. It's nothing without you. You're an amazing community of fly people, and we love you. Thank you so much for listening to the show. This is it from me, Mitch Holland.
Yes, thanks, everybody. Thank you so much.
That's a wrap on 200.
Oh,
Take care.
comb your hair.